Hello! We discussed from our previous lessons how to solve quadratic equations using 4 different methods. So we can solve a quadratic equation using extracting the square root, or factoring, or completing the square, or by the quadratic formula. And from our previous examples, we have found out that a quadratic equation can have 2 solutions or only 1 solution. And another thing, a quadratic equation can have real number solutions, or a quadratic equation can have no real number solutions. So when we see real numbers, these are the numbers that can be found in the number line. This can be positive numbers or negative numbers, or this can be decimals or fractions or any number between these numbers. Alright, so those are real numbers. So how can we identify if a given quadratic equation has real or no real number solutions, and how many real number solutions can a quadratic equation have without solving the quadratic equation? Actually, we may know that using discriminant. So the discriminant is defined by the formula b squared minus 4ac. So if this is familiar with you, this formula is the radicand of our quadratic formula, or the terms that can be found inside the radical sign in the quadratic formula. So we have 3 different conditions for us to be able to know how many real number solutions a quadratic equation have without actually solving this. Alright? So first condition, if the computed discriminant value is greater than 0, it means that the given quadratic equation has 2 distinct or different real number solutions. Another, if the discriminant value is equal to 0, it just means that the given quadratic equation has only 1 real number solution. And if the discriminant value is less than 0 or a negative number, it means that the quadratic equation has no real number solutions. So what are these real number, or this the not real number? So these are numbers, or the negative numbers that are inside a radical sign. Example of this is a -1, or the square root rather of a -1. So this is an example of not real number. This is a not real number. So square root of -1 is represented by I, or we call this an imaginary number or a complex number. So if the discriminant is less than 0, it means that the solutions of a quadratic equation are square root of a negative number, not real. Let us have examples. Let's have an example we had before. Like for example, we have x squared minus 121 equals 0. So let us identify if this equation has real number solutions and how many real number solutions this quadratic equation has. So again, we will be using the formula for the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. Let's identify a, b, and c here. So a here is 1, b is 0, so this is an incomplete quadratic equation, so b is 0, and c is -121. Substitute these values to the formula. So we're going to have discriminant equals b, which is 0 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is -121. So the discriminant is 0 squared. So -4 times 1 is -4. -4 times -121 that will become positive 484. So when we added 0, so discriminant is equal to 484. And 484 is greater than 0. This is positive number. So we can say that the discriminant is greater than 0. So which among these three will be the basis of our answer? So we'll have this one. And since the discriminant computed value is positive or greater than 0, it means that the given quadratic equation has two distinct real number solutions. So if we're going to look back at the solutions of this quadratic equation, the solutions of this are positive 11 and negative 11. So these are two distinct real number solutions. Alright, so we're able to determine this without solving for this equation, but instead using discriminant. Let's have another example. Let us have, number 2. 4x squared plus 25 equals 20x. So we have actually solved this from our previous video. So let's first change this or write this in standard form. So this can be written as 4x squared, move this on the other side of the equal sign, minus 20x plus 25 equals 0. Then let's use the formula for discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. So identify a, b, and c. So a here is 4, b is negative 20, and c is 25. Substitute to the equation or to the formula. So we're going to have discriminant equals b, which is negative 20 square, minus 4a, which is 4, c, which is 25. So the discriminant is a square of negative 20, which is 400. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16, times 25 is negative 400. Subtract. So the discriminant is 0. So it will fall on the second condition. So therefore, since the discriminant is equal to 0, the quadratic equation has only one real number solution. Alright, and we have actually solved for this before, and we have solved its value or its solution, which is equivalent to 5 halves. So it's only one real number solution. Let us have the third example. If we have x squared plus 2x plus 3 equals 0. Okay, let's try this one. So again, let's identify the values of a, b, and c since this is written in standard form. So a here is 1, b is 2, and c is 3. Then use the formula. Discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. Substitute the values. So b is 2, so we have 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times c, which is 3. So the discriminant is 2 squared, which is 4. The negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. And 4 minus 12 is negative 8. The discriminant is negative, so meaning the discriminant is less than 0 because this is negative. So it will fall on the third condition. Since the discriminant is less than 0 or a negative number, it means that the given quadratic equation has no or 0. It has no real number solution. Alright? Because if we're going to solve for its solution, so you try this, okay? You try to solve this one. So the solution for this equation is x equals -2 plus minus the square root of -8 all over 2. So it has a square root of a negative number, which is an imaginary or a complex number. So this is not real number. So these are all our discussion about discriminant, and I hope that you're able to learn from our lesson today. Bye.